Thank you, Caitlin. She had her hands full, didn't she? I mean, Boyer, he's got a whole lot going on. You know, the weather here in Martinsville, not so good earlier, but it's great now. Xfinity Series practice and qualifying on the way, followed by the Camping World Truck Series racing later tonight on FS1. With Michael Waltrip, I'm Adam Alexander. Here is the Fox weather, 60 degrees, a slight breeze, and it's going to cool off as the night rolls on. 1 week removed from our first short track race of the year. Michael, it was a thriller.
Yeah, push and shove is what it came down to. There's a little push and got Ty Gibbs to the bottom, and then he just runs a little bit wide into turn 3, takes the lead, takes the victory, and celebrates again. What a career this young man has started off, winning races everywhere we go, all different types of racetracks. It's been a lot of fun watching Ty Gibbs get up to speed in a hurry.
You see his 3 wins there, Las Vegas, Atlanta, and Richmond. And I would say last weekend all about the teenagers. Ty Gibbs wins, and 18-year-old Sam Mayer got the $100,000 in the Dash for Cash, Regan.
Well, Adam, it certainly wasn't the big trophy at the end of the race, but it was the big check at the end of the race for Sam Mayer. Career best third-place finish last week. And $100,000, what did you do with that money this week?
I mean, it feels good to have $100,000 in my pocket, but I don't know. I'll do whatever I need to do with that money to be a responsible adult.
That's not the answer that we wanted. How about for today? What are you thinking of Martinsville here?
Yeah, I mean, Martinsville here today is like one of those things where you just got to qualify well, be up front. And, I mean, if you're up front, you'll stay out of all the mess in the back. So that's going to be our main goal for today, is to have a lot of speed in qualifying, and so we can stay up front out of the mess and hopefully get another $100,000.
Adam, we've already learned that an 18-year-old, far more responsible than me. That's not what I would have done with the money.
Do you have any of that Dash for Cash money that you won years ago, Regan? I'm guessing not.
I'm sure it got placed and spent nicely someplace, either by me or somebody else. I don't know.
College funds. We do have caution on the track. There's some debris, a spin for the 26 of Derek Griffith. Let's see what happened.
See on the top. Oh, he was loose all the way in, Adam. It's like the rear brakes, maybe. You know, we talk a lot about braking here at Martinsville, how important it is. You want to get as much rear brake in the car as you possibly can, but when it starts to wheel hop, you're just along for a ride, and around that Toyota went.
So we'll get the best cleaned up and return to the track in a moment on FS1. 16 cars have been out in practice. He has owned the early portion of the NASCAR Xfinity Series season. Ty Gibbs got it done in Las Vegas. That was career win number 5, and he just keeps on rolling.
Yeah, the Atlanta win was impressive, but to do what he did at Richmond, you give that little bump to get your competitor up out of the groove and then take advantage of it by diving hard into the corner and driving off to victory lane. That little bump, Adam, in turns 1 and 2, I was impressed with, because he could have overdone that and spun John Hunter around. Certainly wasn't the case.
He's been the hottest, Regan.
Adam, he's certainly been the hottest driver in the series. Ty, we were just talking about all the tracks that you've won at and had success at. You come to another short track this weekend. Is there a weak spot in your game right now?
I don't know. There's definitely some weak spots I have. I feel like speed weights are probably the biggest one, just because I don't have as much experience. But, you know, back in a short track, you know, being in the ARCA Menard Series, we were at a lot of short tracks last year, so good to have experience. And, you know, hopefully we can be fast. We got a good group of guys behind this Monster Energy Toyota GR Supra, and we'll hammer down.
Adam, I think it's a very good bet that they're going to be fast again today and this weekend.
Yeah, and he's got experience here. Ran both races a season ago, and he is ready to knock you out. Second spin of the day. It's caution for Natalie Decker.
He said hammer down.
He did.
He is ready, set on going. Wow, what confidence he must come to the racetrack with, knowing what a great team he has and the job he's been able to do behind the wheel. See the back tires again, Adam. That's wheel hop. You want those rear tires to grab as much of the braking responsibility as you can, but that's too much. And if you get on the brakes too aggressively, it can cause that. But also just having a little bit too much adjusted back there from the time she hit the track could have been the case as well.
We're practicing in 2 groups today to give everybody the most opportunities to get out and get in some quality time. And in group number 1, second fastest on the board, 2-time champion, Hall of Famer Dale Earnhardt Jr. making his only start of the year.
And look at that fancy steering wheel he's going to be holding this weekend. That's pretty good looking stuff. And man, it's really cool to have Dale Jr. back in the Xfinity Series, just living life large. You said it, 2-time champion. just a great talent behind the wheel and a wonderful personality. Great part of this sport that we're all so fortunate to be a part of.
Yeah, you see all the accolades here. And I go back just to his early days in the Xfinity Series in the late 90s and how fun it was to watch him race.
His hair was all dyed up. And
hat on backwards. Hey, you mentioned the steering wheel. Starting tomorrow on Dale's Foundation website, you can bid on that steering wheel. They'll keep it up through Monday. They're going to auction that off. It's all a part of feeding folks around our country, and he's been a huge part of that effort in recent years and going to make another contribution this weekend. A great job by Dale, not just coming back and running in the Xfinity Series, but having a platform that he utilizes, and another nice job this weekend.
The thing feels really good. It rotates the center really well. I can overload the nose a little bit, but I feel like for what I'm going to need in the race, this is pretty close to what I'm going to need right here.
Well, you know, that's a great feeling for Mike Schneider, Adam. He's faster than Dale Jr. Those guys are probably on racing setups, racing runs, and that's good. A great start to the weekend for Myatt. He's run a lot of laps here in late models, too, so he knows this little paperclip as well as anybody. Well, maybe not as well as Dale Jr. He's run a lot of laps here, too.
Brett Moffitt, second quick right now, and he's another driver that has a lot of laps here when you think about his days in the Camping World Truck Series, Cup starts, and all of that.
I don't know what you normally get for a scale, Dale. 1 to 10, 1 to 5. What's your tightness there?
Probably a 1 or 2 on a 10 scale. Probably not very bad, but off throttle, the back kind of jumps in the air, gets a little light, so I didn't want to do. I'm not sure how much looser it's going to get on inch under braking.
We've seen a couple of issues with that already, Adam. So, you know, that's just a part of the setup. You want that balance. You're going to use those brakes really hard in the race, and if you're using all your front ones, you'll wear through the pads or you'll heat them up and they'll go away. So you want to get as much to the rear as you can, and that's what could be causing that bit of a loose feeling he's got.
It's great, though. You mentioned all he's done. He was the first car on track when things opened up for practice. Stephen Parsons fourth quick right now in the 99.
Isn't that been fun to say over the last few weeks? Stephen hopping in the 99 SoCal Chevy and is able to put it up toward the front. He's practicing with a little bit different agenda than Dale Jr. He's got to make this race first. We're going to have 10 guys that go home after qualifying, and Stephen's doesn't have enough points to ensure he will race, so this team has to have speed early, and he's done a great job behind the wheel of getting that car up to speed.
J.J. Yaley, fifth.
Hey, I was down in the garage area, Adam. I mean, you can tell how beautiful this Supra is just by looking at it. But the detail, the workmanship on these Xfinity cars from front to back, it's just second to none. These cars are really, really sporty and fun to look at. Yaley up in the top 5 with his 66 car.
15 minutes of practice goes really fast, especially when you have a couple of cautions. We're down to just over 3 minutes ago as we take a look at Jade Buford, a couple of weeks removed from matching his career best finish.
Scott Bruschetta owns his team. They stepped up their commitment to the Xfinity Series, and that 8th place finish you spoke of at COTA, that was a big deal for that team, and they just expect to be in the top 10 week in, week out. And I liken Martinsville a little bit, Adam, to a road course because of the heavy braking and the fact that you want to get off the brakes so you can turn through the center, and then you need that forward drive up off. So this track could play into his hands really well.
You know, we'll see him in Group 2, but A.J. Allmendinger has always been really good here. Go back to his Cup days. He's got a couple of runner-up finishes in Cup, and I think a lot of that is, as you talk about, just the way you drive this place and how it compares to a road course. Ryan Vargas in the 6. Mentioned last week, JD Motorsports getting involved with a day of giving with Jersey Mike's and their support of the Special Olympics. They had a Special Olympian in the shop this week from South Carolina. He's competing the weekend we go to Darlington, so they're going to bring into the race Memorial Day weekend at Charlotte. Awesome to see, and Kyle, who was over at the shop this week, a real inspiration to everybody on the team.
And that partnership with Jersey Mike, that's a big part of what all they're able to do with this great effort with the Special Olympians. I'm Kentuckian, Mike.
Bless your time around here.
One of the best names in the field, Howie DeSavino, driving the 44 for Alpha Prime. Missed the field last weekend trying to make his debut at Richmond.
Straight up off. Nice entry down here now.
Nice and straight up off is great encouragement, but man, is it ever challenging to do. If the car is loose at all, it's going to be more loose on exit than it is anywhere as you're trying to get all that power down to those back tires. You know what's great about, you see the scoreboard on the left, Mike Schneider the fastest. Adam, he's also the fastest in the 10-lap averages. So, you know, he's not just having lightning in a bottle. They've got it from one end to the other. That's impressive.
And as we go inside of a minute with Group 1 practice, make a mental note of the times, right? 2041, 2042, 2047. That's what those guys currently have posted at the top. And we'll see how that translates to Group 2 when they hit the track, because there's many cars in that second group that will put up some really, really good lap times.
I kind of like being in the second group. What do you think? Getting able to see what your competition has and look at the lines and listen to some of the chatter on the radio, that little bit of education can go a long way.
Now, when it comes to qualifying, one group, single car, like we have been. They just did this to make sure everybody gets the practice they need. You want a sleeper this weekend, give me a little Shane Lee, great short track racer, and driving for Joey Gase in the 35.
Yeah, he only has a few short track starts and top 10s in 2 of those, Adam, so he's in a really good spot to have a great weekend.
If you blinked, you might have missed it. Group 1 practice complete at Martinsville. Snyder, Moffitt, Dale Earnhardt Jr., the top 3. Group 1 practice is complete for the NASCAR Xfinity Series here at Martinsville. We'll put Group 2 out there for 15 minutes, and then we'll line them up and qualify for tomorrow night's 250 lapper.
Did I mention how much I like these split groups? This is really cool. It gives us a refreshing start here, too. Ryan Truex hasn't been much with us this year. Look, he's got pickleball on his car.
Do you play pickleball?
I haven't taken up pickleball yet, but I'm willing and ready to do so. Would you like a match, Adam?
How about doubles? You and I are teammates.
How about that? Maybe producer Pam hops in on the court, too. She's got some game.
She was talking trash earlier. It will be determined if she's got game, but she was definitely talking trash.
For you listening at home, viewers, Adam's he's a competitor. He likes to scrap. I like that pickleball sponsorship. That's pretty cool.
When you look at our pylon, all the names in yellow, those that went out in Group 1. The drivers on track now in Group 2 will populate into the pylon in white. And some real fast cars here. You saw the 18 Ryan Truex. Here's our most recent winner, Ty Gibbs, driving the 54 for the coach.
He's just filling his car out. You can see him shaking it there a little bit, making sure the brakes are heated up as Anthony Alfredo swings around the outside.
Daniel Henry jumps up in the top 5. Ryan Sieg driving the 39 this weekend, fresh off a top 10 finish at Richmond last Saturday.
CMR Roofing is such a wonderful sponsorship for that team, able to bring competitive race cars to the track week in, week out. It's good to see that partnership working for both CMR and our Ryan Sieg Racing. Right behind him, there you see Truex beating him up.
And there's a new leader in practice. Sheldon Creed to the top as Daniel Hemrick stays in the top 5. Had gone to 3rd. He's now 4th.
And guess who's fastest now?
And then Hemrick to 2nd. And there's Sheldon Creed.
We saw him work his way around Gibbs right when this session started, so you know he's got a fast car. And a little bit of traffic here, so this will hurt the lap time a bit. That's one thing at this track, Adam. You catch a car anywhere on the track, you're going to lose. You can lose up to a half a second. So you really need some clean racetrack, especially if you're a veteran like A.J. Allmendinger. He doesn't need to try to figure out how to pass a guy. He knows exactly what he's doing there. He just needs to figure out what he has under him so he knows how to attack when we go racing tomorrow.
A.J. wants 2 things here tomorrow: a grandfather clock signifying a victory, and $100,000 in the Dash for Cash. The drivers in the pylon highlighted in purple going for the bonus here tomorrow night. You don't have to win the race. You just have to finish better than the other 3. What's up, Regan?
Well, Adam Dale Jr. making his return to the Xfinity Series, your yearly return to the Xfinity Series. I spoke to you before you got in the car. You said you're a little bit nervous, even as good as you are at this racetrack. So how was the practice?
It felt great to be out there turning laps. I love racing this track, driving around it, so that was a blast. We got a little bit of a tight situation with the car we got to work on, and not a lot of time to really do much with it. So hopefully we can get a lap built up to make the show and have some more fun tomorrow. But I picked the right place to come run at, man. Doesn't get any better in Martinsville.
Adam, you could see the smile on him as soon as he got out of the race car. He loves this place.
He sounds a lot like Boyer, doesn't he? How much fun it is to race here. This place really gets you going, Adam.
Sheldon Creed leading practice in Martinsville. Ty Gibbs, Daniel Hemrick, your top 3. Under 8 minutes to go. Group 2 practice here at Martinsville for the NASCAR Xfinity Series with Michael Waltrip. I'm Adam Alexander. Regan Smith hanging out in the garage. No changes since we left you. Sheldon Creed, Ty Gibbs, Daniel Hemrick, the top 3. But look down there in 4th. Myatt Snyder, who was in Group 1, is hanging strong. And another driver in the top 10 to pay off, Alex LeBay, who's 6th, as we peek in on Brandon Jones. And I said Regan's hanging out in the garage. Let's hear from him now.
Well, I am, Adam, and another driver from Group A that you didn't mention yet. Brett Moffitt, 5th on the board right now. Is this race car as fast as it as good as it looks on the board?
Yeah, we got a good half-off wholesale Camaro here. I think maybe having a green track was an advantage for speed, but we got the speed. We just got to work on the long run. So looks like the 2 and the 54 can hang on a little better right now, but we got some adjustments to make and go to work tomorrow.
Good speed for Brett right now, Adam. Always so good on these short tracks.
Yeah, 24 laps is what he was able to get in. And I'm watching the guys that are out there right now in Group 2. Best of the bunch there as far as laps turned. Ty Gibbs has put 21 laps on the board. Here's A.J. Allmendinger, currently 11th in practice.
I just feel way on top of the racetrack. Just trying to wheel hop into the corner. Rolls like the first half decent, but it won't finish the corner. Kind of shaking the tires off the corner.
Now that is a veteran. He broke that car down in a hurry to his team, making sure that they all understand what his challenges are. We talked about it from the beginning, how difficult braking is here, and that was one of his issues right off the top, shaking the tires getting into the corner.
He's been rolling lately. AJ has. Top 10 every race this year. There's the 38 of Parker Retzlaff heading back to the pit lane. He dazzled us last Saturday in Richmond. 2nd career start for this young driver out of Wisconsin. Started young, Michael.
That's a beautiful sight, isn't it? And driving that pickup truck on the dirt. Parker has just been amazing to watch get his legs under him in the Xfinity Series. I don't know how many cars he passed last weekend, Adam, but it was a ton to gain that top 10 finish. And just like you'd expect out of the youngster, he was outside the top 25 when this practice session started. On those old tires, he's broken inside the top 20.
Unofficially, he passed 26, but he had a speeding penalty, which means it was even more than that. That's incredible in a place like Richmond. Just under 2 minutes to go. Xfinity Series practice, Group 2 of 2 at Martinsville. There's Justin Allgaier, 10th overall, 2nd best of the cars for Junior Motorsports. They don't have an enormous presence at the front when you look at the leaderboard. Josh Berry won here last year. He's 13th.
I feel like the turn's really good. To be faster right now, I would probably need a little tighter, but to be fast at 50 laps, I think we're good. Right there where I'm at, like I feel like I can just sit there and just flick that off for as long as you wanted.
Isn't that great? The confidence, and he knows exactly what he's feeling, and he's relaying that to the team. And that's a bit of a challenge, though. You know, I could be a little bit better, but it would hurt us at 50 laps. And they're not going to run 50 laps. They don't have time.
At Martinsville, when Josh Berry talks, people listen. I'd say the same for Noah Gragson. Those two drivers won the pair of races we had a year ago here at the Paperclip, Regan.
Adam Myatt Snyder currently 4th in the practice session overall. You were part of Group A, though. Did you learn what you needed to about your race car for qualifying coming up?
Yeah, I thought we had a Taxler Camaro was as fast as Xfinity Internet. The biggest thing I'm trying to do right now, Reagan, is just to not overthink it. This place is the easiest place in the world to overthink because, you look at it and it's so simple, right? But it's not.
you were a driver at one point, so yeah, that's what I'm trying to do is just not overthink going into qualifying, run the same lap, because I mean we're pretty fast right now, so car drove as easy as it is doing your tax with tax there, so I'm just really proud of the boys from Jordan Anderson Racing for bringing such a fast Camaro, and yeah, we'll go and try and slay it in qualifying.
Good luck. Thanks, Matt.
He got all the sponsors in. Really well executed. And practice well executed by this guy, Sheldon Creed, the best of the bunch. Is he the favorite for the pole? Qualifying coming up on FS1. The USFL is almost here. Players are fired up, ready to go. We're just 9 days away from the start of this innovative new league. The inaugural season kicks off on April 16th with a battle between the New Jersey Generals and the Birmingham Stallions. It's all on Fox and NBC. Welcome back, everybody, in Martinsville, Virginia, with Michael Waltrip. I'm Adam Alexander. Xfinity Series practice is done. It's time now to qualify. So you go out there and you try to figure out, what's my car like on the long run? Now you get 2 laps to qualify up front. How do you balance that mindset?
And we know it's going to be high-speed car wrestling when they throw the green flag tomorrow. You're going to need that track position. How do you get it? What do when you're going to run into somebody, how do you qualify up front and then have a good long-run car? We heard Josh Berry debating that with his crew. That's why this session is going to be so interesting. Martinsville, if you're a racer, you're just fired up to watch cars, watch trucks, and see a great weekend of awesome racing. And I'm that guy.
I don't know what's wrong with you. Earlier this week on Race Hub, you were promoting boxing. Now you're promoting wrestling. You've got some anger issues. Here are the top 10 from practice. Sheldon Creed leads the way. Give me a couple others you think can win the pole here.
I think anyone in the top 10 can do just that. And what I'm more interested in is what's going to happen when they throw the green flag tomorrow, because I see a lot of long-run speed for Ty Gibbs. Watch for that kid again.
Regan Smith.
Adam, you mentioned Sheldon Creed, the fastest car in practice so far. Sheldon, a lot of laps here in the truck for you, a lot of up-front laps with the truck. You carried that over to the Xfinity car. Is it fast enough to go get the pole in a minute?
Man, I hope so. We've had a humbling couple of weeks, so the guys did a really good job this week and put a lot of time into this car, just trying to get back where we think we belong and running up front. So yeah, I would love to go get Wheelan and Chevy and RCR or pole here, and yeah, I'm gonna give it my best shot.
Good luck, Sheldon. Thanks.
Experience means so much, and obviously he's been here, doing the Truck Series thing. How can that pay off here?
Well, and that little 15-minute practice session can pay off too. It's about timing here at Martinsville. We saw guys get on their brakes too heavy and skip their rear tires. You miss the center of the corner. You've got to be perfect in these 2 laps in order to put down a lap that will set on the pole. So experience is something you can lean on, but what I like doing is what we just did this little practice session. Let's knock a little bit of rust off and figure out what we got and how we're going to attack for qualifying.
Ronnie Bassett Jr., 26 years old, from Winston-Salem, North Carolina, the first in qualifying.
Couldn't quite get the throttle down like he wanted to. I like when a driver gets in the gas as early as they can. Watching some of the throttle traces from the Cup guys, the sooner the better. That's when the lap time really comes down, when you're able to squeeze the gas down a little bit quicker than your competitors.
Opening lap, 20:77.
We're going to compare that right now to a 20:36, which is what we saw Sheldon Creed put up in that practice session. I think they'll go a little faster than that, Adam, but that's a decent lap there for Bassett Jr.
He picked up, and we anticipate, that's what we'll see. We talk about it so much. We don't do 2 laps every week in qualifying. Did it last week, do it again this week, being on a short track, and typically you'll see that second lap go faster. Chad Fincham.
He's
second driver out.
Flirting right there with that time of Bassett. You can see the 13 number there popping back and forth. Just about a 10th and a half. Oh, and he smoked the tires. That's what you can't afford to do in qualifying. And then, as a result, spun them up off. Smoked them down in and then spun them on the exit. That was your money lap, too. I expect, Adam, that we will see the second lap. If you do your job like you're paid to, the second lap will be your money lap.
Yeah, and he doesn't go any faster there because of the problems you spoke of. 52, Harrison Rhodes.
Whoa,
Hang on to it.
You could see those back tires. They were angry, bouncing up and down. Luckily, he saved it, kept it out of the fence. Now he's got 1 lap to get his job done. Put that behind you. Get down into turn 3. Get a great run up off turn 4 and take that white flag. Put down a great win on lap 2. That's in the back of your mind as a driver, Adam, is what just happened. And was that my fault? Were the tires not hot enough? Were the brakes not ready to go? All those questions you're asking yourself.
And when you're running laps just over 20 seconds, I don't know how that you can put that behind you and move on.
See that back tire just bouncing? Was able to keep it out of the wall. Well, that was a nice job. See them skipping across the road there, Adam? That's just excess rear brake, and they want to lock up and jump up and down.
He does pick up. Obviously, he would, based on what happened on lap 1. Second lap for Harrison Rhodes, 21-29. And the guy that could steal the show here tomorrow night. He is the show, Dale Jr.
Look at those eyes. I love seeing the intensity of these drivers trying to put down a 20-second lap here on the paperclip. Nice hustle into the gas, too. You heard him really get after it.
Second lap will be a lot better.
Opening lap going to be good enough to put him at the top, but he's got much higher aspirations. 20:49. Let's see how much he picks up.
Wanted to get in it, but couldn't quite gun it. Nice job.
A little bit of left front lock up.
This is going to be a good pickup for Dale Jr.
And first lap to 49 and a 40.
So 900 to the second.
Well, and you heard the spotters say you skidded your left front. That's going to hurt the lap time. So to be able to put up a faster lap, even with
Second
the
lap
issues.
was a damn disaster.
A disaster. He did not like it, and it was a 10th faster. Maybe that means he's got a good race car for the 250 lapper.
Here's Brennan Poole.
The Woodlands, Texas. Got that second place finish at Kentucky a few years back. See what he can do. Tracking in a pretty good spot there, Adam.
Into the green.
First lap was a 20:61. Second
What's
lap
up,
was
Regan?
20:42. Good.
Well, Adam, Daniel Hemrick, a strong practice session for you guys. Daniel, how difficult is it to take what you learned in that practice session, equate it to qualifying, but then know that tomorrow night is going to be a nighttime race for these cars?
Yeah, Regan, it's a lot to take in, I can promise you. We unloaded with obviously decent speed in this circle, colleague racing Camaro, but just didn't have the feel on brakes, didn't have the feel rolling the center, or the feel you want leaving the corner. So I was just down there racking my teammate AJ Allmendinger's brain, just trying to figure out where we're off, what do we need help with, and obviously we all got to try to make the best of it here for 2 laps. But yeah, I'm curious to sleep on this. Glad we did get on the racetrack though, to at least have something to sleep on. And whatever qualifying gives us, we'll like I said, try to just make the best educated guess as you go into a totally different racetrack tomorrow night.
Thanks, Daniel.
Ryan Ellis, 6 car out in qualifying. He jumps up behind Brennan Poole. He will be third with a 20:50.
Those are some pretty impressive lap times, Adam, for both Poole and Ellis. See what Natalie Decker can do. She had some issues with her braking in practice. Not a lot of speed in the center there. That's where you really want to be picking up that gas, and we couldn't hear her doing so.
White flag.
Lap 1, 21:47. That's 7th.
Man, so tight up toward the front. You can see a 40, a 42, a 50. She's able to pick up on the second lap.
Checkered flag. Good job.
Decker jumps to 6th, just under 21 seconds.
Here comes the kitty cat. Shane Lee, you talked about his short track prowess and the successes he's had racing on the small tracks of NASCAR. I pencil him in for a top 10 tomorrow night, Adam.
Yeah, I think you'd use pencil when you put anybody in the top 10 here, just because you never know how this race will pan out. First lap for Lee puts him 6th, 78.
That was a nice exit to turn 2. You heard him get after the gas and no tire spin.
It's a real good looking lap.
Yeah, it is.
Shane Lee.
Look at that.
To the top, 20:39. That's awesome.
That ain't no kitty cat. That's a lion coming to this. Or is it a Mustang? Yeah, it's that too. It's fast, whatever you make of it.
Indeed. Stephen Parsons, 9th car to roll in qualifying. SoCal Chevrolet for B.J. McLeod.
Wow. Stephen just jumps out there.
First lap.
20:28. Can he pick it up? I just love how he's clobbering that gas. That's the key to running a fast lap here. Being able to get the throttle down, and Stephen had no issues.
Slid it wide off the 2. And the second lap actually will not be faster, but he stays at the top, obviously. 20:28. That's a great lap for him.
Watch those hands inside that car. Hello. Keeping it just outside of that outside wall. Great job by Stephen.
Here's Kyle Weatherman in the 34. Second straight week he's been behind the wheel of this Chevrolet, driving for Jesse Awuji and Emmett Smith.
Oh. God, did he hit the wall? He was right there at it.
Yeah, it looks like a little scuff there.
That shows you desperation, Adam, and you can see Weatherman's got a nice second lap going. You can't let off the gas. He didn't care if he was about to hit the wall. He just held it down, and look at this. He's going to be rewarded with a very good lap.
Really good comeback on lap number 2. Weatherman is now second behind Parsons. 10 cars have gone. You just have to beat 10 to lock into the show. 43 here, 33 in on time. 5 will go home.
Watch this squeeze off turn 4, Adam. Heavy on the gas. And just barely scrubs the wall. But then winds up with a third-place qualifying effort.
The mental concentration to stay in it and come back. That's awesome. Here's Ryan Vargas. First lap is 6th.
You know, you talked about just beating 10. I'm friends with Stephen Parson, and qualifying is the most nerve-wracking part of his whole weekend. Just get that lap in so I can go racing, and he did a great job there. He will lock in after 11th car goes.
And Vargas 6th at a 20:45. Parsons, Weatherman, Lee leading the way in qualifying in Martinsville. Qualifying continues for the NASCAR Xfinity Series. We're live in Martinsville, Virginia on FS1. This practice and qualifying session, a setup for the Camping World Truck Series later tonight right here. Looking forward to that.
I can't wait. The trucks put on such a great show here. It's an awesome weekend of NASCAR action from Martinsville.
Matt Mills, one of a handful of drivers, entered in the race this weekend from the great Commonwealth of Virginia, driving the 5 for B.J. McLeod.
Looks like he was a little bit loose off turn 4 coming to the white. See if he can keep it up under him. Wobbling down into turn 3, but that means he's just going for it, knowing he's got to get all he can. Oh, and into the wall.
Easy.
Matt Mills is 9th. Regan?
Got the wall.
Adam Bradley Herbstay's strong run a week ago, 5th place when we were at Richmond. Because of that, you're going to race for $100,000 here on Saturday evening. You made a very long run in practice. How beneficial is that for you for what you're going to do tomorrow night?
Yeah, it was huge. Obviously running for the Dash for Cash this weekend, so hopefully this Monster Energy Ford Mustang is as fast as Xfinity Internet, but right there in practice, we just went 40 laps green and tried to see where the car went on a long run, and we were pretty good last week on a long run, so hopefully we can start a little bit better than 24th like we did last week and racing towards the end.
Thanks, Riley.
That young man's got a lot of spirit, a lot of energy, and it's just, you know, you walk around, you run into Ty Gibbs, you see Stephen Parsons, some of these guys with smiles on their faces, knowing that they're getting to do what they dreamed of doing as kids. It's really refreshing just to see how thankful they are.
Hey, this guy fits that category. Checks every box, right?
Not the lap that Josh was looking for. A little bit off on speed from what I expected from him. He usually steps up and puts down a lap during qualifying.
Hey, Mills, Williams, and Parsons are all teammates. That just really puts an exclamation point on how good that lap was for Steffen earlier, doesn't it?
Yeah, and again, under pressure.
Yeah.
You know, he knew he had to go put a lap in if he wanted to race tomorrow.
Here's Bailey Curry. His teammate Ryan Vargas is already gone in his opening lap. Just 500ths off of what his teammate ran earlier.
This is another guy I was going to say that usually steps it up when it's time to go. Bailey Curry flirting right around with the top 5 starting spot. Did he do it?
How about 4th? 20:39. Really good rally in lap number 2 for the driver of the 4.
I think he might call home and say, hey, y'all, I just beat Dale Jr.
I would. Jay Buford. 34 years old, out of Nashville, Tennessee. Year 2 for this race team.
Car looks like it's handling well. Like to see him try to get to the gas a little quicker. You see when he gets it down, it comes up off nice and straight, and he's got a decent lap going here.
Tracker says top 2, 3. See if he can finish the deal. He ends up 6th.
Look at that. 3rd is 20.39. Heck, go all the way down to 8th. 4 or 5, just over a half a tenth of a second separating these cars.
No margin for error when it comes to qualifying on a short track like Martinsville. Howie DiSavino III is out there now making his run.
For short track racers everywhere, coming to Martinsville is just a special feeling, a special place. And to be able to jump out there and put down a lap time that locks you into the show, that's what Howie's thinking about right now.
He's a Virginia guy, grew up not too far from where Denny Hamlin grew up. Said he's looking forward to racing tonight with his idol, Dale Jr., and he's beat him in qualifying. What a lap.
That is awesome. Just a perfect example of a guy getting everything that car had to offer. We saw him early in the gas off the corners, really pushed it, but yet it stayed up under him, and he drove the heck out of it.
And we talk about pressure. He was going to make his debut last week, Michael, and he missed the show. To come here and do that is awesome for that young driver. We go from a young guy to a veteran, 45-year-old J.J. Yaley in the 66.
See what the vet can put down. He's got a nice lap, tracking up toward the top 5. Oh, lost it off turn 4 there. But again, 20:44. He's just a half a tenth out of 5th. Oh, here comes the ghost car.
Myatt Snyder. Really good in practice earlier.
Yeah, he liked his car. Felt good about what he had for the race. Ran some laps, and look at this run off turn 4.
Lap 1. Very impressive.
By 1,000th of a second. He should be able to pick up here, Adam.
You would think so, right? Everybody has, or virtually everyone has been able to pick up on lap 2 if they didn't have some sort of a problem.
Look at that good run. He did it again. Remember the good run he got with our ghost car off of turn 4? He's able to pick it up to a 20.15.
You're 25 in the line.
Snyder leads the way in qualifying, Regan.
Adam, Justin Allgaier, top 10 in practice with his race car. Was your race car as fast as Xfinity's internet, Justin?
It was as fast as Xfinity internet. I told you off camera, though, that I felt like we were faster in the middle of the run versus at the beginning like everybody else. So optimistic about qualifying. We know that our brand professional agriculture Camaro is really good in the long run. But, you know, we were talking off camera, it's going to be really hard to pass. So we want to get a good lap in here. I think not overdriving qualifying is going to be super important and getting ourselves a good solid starting spot and hopefully go for a win tomorrow night.
Adam, I tried to throw him off his game. He's a true professional, Justin Allgaier.
No, you are a professional for asking that question. I love it, Regan. Best one of the day.
Yeah, I like the way you brought that, Regan. It just shows that you're down there with your boots on, sleeves rolled up, and going to work.
Joe Graff Jr. will race tomorrow night. 4th place is where he is in qualifying, and here comes his teammate David Starr.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. is officially locked in on speed. He's beat 11 cars. That's a great run for Joe Graff Jr., wasn't it?
Yeah, really good, yeah. 16th on lap 1 for David Starr. Some work to do for the driver out of Texas who has a win here in the Camping World Truck Series.
It's always fun to come back to a place where you've won. You see he slid that number 08 forward right out next to that outside wall.
He's 13th. Top 10 drivers in the pylon have locked into the field. 43 are here. As I said, 5 will go home. And next in line to make a run, Derek Griffith.
Saw Derek with a spin in practice, some issues. Looks pretty steady so far, but that'll rock your confidence a bit. Get those back tires locking up, spin around. But he does a nice job of putting a solid lap together there. Pick up about 2/10 and he'll be safely up toward the top 10.
Lap 1, 15th. Lap 2 will jump him up just a bit. No, 20:56 keeps him in the 15th position. And now Brett Moffitt in the 02 driving for Our Motorsports.
They always bring colorful cars, don't they? Look at that run for Brett off turn 2. Wow.
Yeah, he's one of those guys that went out in Group 1 in practice. It was hard to figure out what he had. I think we're finding out now. Really good race car. First driver in the 19-second range. A 1995 for Brett Moffitt. Easily the fastest lap of the day.
That is incredible, the way he's able just to yard what was our fastest car, Myatt Snyder.
I'm glad the ghost car was in to add that perspective. Great qualifying run for Brett Moffitt. He leads the way. Some big names on track when we return to the paperclip. Halfway home, Xfinity Series qualifying at Martinsville. Brett Moffitt leads the way. Picked up nearly a half a second over the lap he turned in practice earlier today.
What about the surprises we've had in this session? It makes me wonder who's going to get this pole. We haven't really seen anything directly related to practice that tells us who's the favorite to do so. Another fast car here, Jeremy Clements, locked second in on lap 1.
Now, Brett Moffitt did not pick up on lap 2. If Clements does, he could be a threat to the 02 for the top spot, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen.
Here he comes. Brett was just so strong on exit, Adam, and you can see there, second fastest Clements.
Regan?
Adam, a Junior Motorsports party down here on pit road. We got a veteran, a rookie, last year's race winner. So who's giving the advice down here? Who's taking the advice? What the heck's going on here?
I'm telling them everything not to do because I just did it. So I think they're going to go out there and try to lay some laps down and not overdrive the car like their owner did.
Was the advice good? You guys going to do what he said?
Yeah, well, like I said, he told us what not to do. He said he underdrove the first lap and overdrove the second lap. So me and Sam are going to try not to do that.
Good luck, guys. Thanks.
You know, it's funny. Jeremy Clements tweeted Dale Jr. and said, "I'd love to have a beer with you on the pit lane after the race Friday night." And Dale Jr. said, "As long as I run all the laps and I don't have to exit early, I'll do it." I'm rooting for everybody to be a part of that. Here's Mason Massey.
Mason with a nice pickup on lap 2.
He's in the show, 7th overall, 2035. Had that career best finish at Atlanta. Nice young man driving for Mario Gosselin. And here is the pickleball mobile, Ryan Truex.
And pickleball got yarded there off turn 2, but we've seen Brett's strong suit. He gives up a little bit on entry, but this is where I want my car to be fast at Martinsville. His strong suit is exiting the corners, and you could see while they were basically, he was getting caught going in, same here. But watch this exit from Brett.
Truex hanging right there. First lap was second. And based on the ghost car, he's got a chance. Off of turn 4, new leader Ryan Truex. 1992 to a 1995.
And that's the key to the second lap. Brett wasn't able to get the second lap down like Truex did. I know this is going to be hard for you to believe, Adam, but in 2012, Ryan Truex finished second in one of these Xfinity races, and I guarantee you he thought wins are on my way. Still fighting for that first victory.
Here's another driver that's been close on a handful of occasions, and you think at some point he's going to knock the door down. Alex Labbe, Pinty Series champion out of Canada, such a good road racer, but top 10 here at Martinsville last year.
Yeah, and they race on the bull rings up in Canada. He's got a lot of experience on the short tracks. Just to tell you the effort, the commitment, I watched Alex help push his car through inspection this morning down on the grid, getting her ready to go racing, and he's going to wind up in the top 5 so far.
I'm not surprised. Just like Mason Massey, he drives for Mario Gosselin, and both of their cars in the top 10 as we pick up the lap of Parker Retzlaff. Career best finish last Saturday. We talked about him during practice. All of that happened at Richmond.
Good start for Parker. Nice turns 1 and 2. It's really interesting, too, to listen to Dale Jr. and say, I underdrove it on one lap and over on the next. And sometimes it's pretty obvious when someone overdrives their car. A little bit difficult to tell when they underdrive it. Parker with 11th quick on the first lap so far.
Tracker says lap 2 easily going to be better. And inside the top 5, Parker Retzlaff ends up 6th, 2015.
Just lost a little bit off turn 4. This car was really fast in practice. This will be interesting to see, too, if practice indeed is going to be something that we can use as a measuring stick with Sheldon Creed. So far, so good.
Sheldon, one of 2 rookies, driving for Richard Childress Racing.
Yeah, but they're got a lot of experience for a couple rookies, don't they?
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's a champion. Last time the Xfinity Series qualified here, Clint Boyer won the pole.
Must have been a while, huh?
It has been a while.
Oh, look at that.
And Creed second, 1993 to a 1992, Regan.
And Ryan Truex, a very good qualifying lap for tomorrow night's race. Every time you show up in the Xfinity Series, you are fast, you're towards the front. How much fun is this for you right now?
Man, these cars are fun to drive. You know, I got to run a GR Super for the first time at Vegas, and I was amazed at how fast it was. These guys, Joga's Racing, are just doing an incredible job. So I'm happy to be behind the wheel. Shop USAPickleball.com. It's a very unique sponsor, and happy to have them on board. And I don't know where it's going to end up. I think the track's getting faster. I mean, we were like half a second quicker than in practice, and I didn't expect to pick up that much, especially in 2 laps. You know how hard it is to go fast here that quick. So just hats off to the team, and we'll see where it ends up.
Adam, I got to go to the truck race here in just a little bit, but Ryan and I were trying to figure out a good time to go get a pickleball match in here later on.
We could just set it up right in the infield, Regan. Landon Castle qualified 4th while Regan was talking to Ryan down there.
Anthony Alfredo looking to become the 5th driver to qualify underneath 20 seconds. Fastest so far, 1992.
Teammate Brett Moffitt 3rd right now. They're going to need a big pickup from lap number 1 that sees him 18th.
We've seen some big pickups.
He's got the iRacing sponsorship and the sim seats on there. He actually set up the sim rig for Chad Knaus at his house. How about that? Alfredo, huge jump up to 6, Mike.
Nice run there. That's the way you recover. That's over 2.5 tenths faster from lap 1 to 2.
By the way, Chad Knaus back in the broadcast booth Saturday night with Mike Joy and Clint Boyer. Second straight week he's called the action on Fox and FS1.
He's your protege, Adam. You helped him get up to speed in the booth.
Oh, yeah.
Done a great job of prepping some of these guys to go do these broadcasts.
Jeb Burton looking to become the third driver from Our Motorsports to put it in the top 10.
Just outside on lap 1, 20.33. Picks up a couple tenths, and he's well inside. See, he's got our visor cam there on his helmet. We'll be able to get some great shots tomorrow night from that.
13th for Burton.
33 and a 35. 33 first lap, 35.
It's disappointing at Martinsville as a driver, that you weren't able to pick it up on lap 2. It's not necessary, but, unless you're just really happy with lap 1, you just try to just barely pick up the gas a little sooner, get in the corner a little harder. You expect that second lap to be faster.
Brandon Brown trying to get his second consecutive top 10 near home. Virginia native, and was really good last Saturday at Richmond.
And he's really good here on lap 1. Uh-oh. That ended lap 2 right there. You can just figure that's it when that car jumped out from underneath of him.
I don't think he's going to go any faster here. The tractor says he's going to be outside the top 10 on lap 2, so he'll stay 7th. But I got to tell you what, he made a nice recovery after he got sideways off of turn 2.
About a 10th slower on lap 2.
Sheldon Creed, second of the bunch. Here's his teammate Austin Hill, won earlier this season. First race of the campaign at Daytona, driving the 21 for RCR.
Tell you what, Adam, as a race car driver, I'm glad I can't see that ghost car. Because I'd be driving so far down in the corner trying to catch him. I wouldn't have a chance of making the turn. I like this part of it, though. Let's just even back up with him. Richard Childress Racing brings some really fast cars to the track. And these two rookies you talked of, Hill and Creed, they're going to be championship contenders this year.
Top 5 for Austin Hill. There's the fastest man in Martinsville, Ryan Truex. 10 more to go in qualifying when we come back. Only 10 cars remain in Xfinity Series qualifying from Martinsville. And the first of those, the guy that won here last October, Noah Gragson.
Oh, there's a big slide.
But that's okay. That's okay. You can come back here, right?
Well, yeah, he can come back, but it might have damaged that left front. If he didn't the first time, it's getting really close on that flat spot again.
Left front up hard.
And having to change it. But look, it really hasn't hurt his speed much. That's interesting.
4th lap 1. And based on the ghost car, he's in the hunt to go to the top.
He should have gathered around Dale. Found out not to overdrive that car.
I guess.
There was a lot of information being exchanged there, but what a great lap. He's going to do it, Adam.
P1, Noah Gragson, 1986.
Be interesting to see if that team has to, what they see after they inspect that left front tire.
Because you know what? You got to start the race tomorrow night on these tires.
Same thing that happened to Noah. We saw a slip inside there for Brandon Jones. It was really interesting. Noah's left front was sliding along, but his car wasn't going up the track. It still was able to make the turn. Usually you slide that tire, you're going to go for a long slide to get up the hill like we see Jones do there.
This has been a pretty good track for Brandon Jones. 6 right now.
That's a great exit to turn 4. Just not going to be able to pick up after that huge slide down in 1-2.
Pair of Gibbs cars in the top 6. Truex is 2nd. Jones, as we said, in that 6th position. And here comes another of the cars from Junior Motorsports, Justin Allgaier.
See if the veteran is able just to put down a warm-up lap here that's competitive and then jump up on lap 2. That's what I would expect from Allgaier.
If this is a warm-up lap, I feel good about his chances.
It was smooth, though, wasn't it?
It really was.
No tire sliding. Laying right over his teammate.
This car is, in fact, as fast as the Xfinity Internet, right?
Oh, look at the exit.
Justin Allgaier beats his teammate.
Teammate says, well, that didn't last long.
He's frustrated, I think, Noah Gregson.
Because of those tire slides we talked about, Adam. Should be interesting to see what the team makes of that. Much different looking 2 laps, wasn't it? The speed wasn't much different, but the way the car looked and the tires sliding, that was a big difference.
You know, Ryan Sieg and those guys told me earlier today this is a big weekend for them. They want to have a great run here at Martinsville so they can become Dash for Cash eligible in a couple of weeks' time at Talladega, where they are always really, really good.
And he's got a fast Mustang, too. See, he's currently tracking inside the top 10. And that's a great exit there. Very smooth. He'll go 7th on lap 1. Oh, that was a second lap. He'll go 2nd on lap 2. How's that?
How about some of the guys that are hanging in the top 10, though? I mean, we talk about Sieg, Landon Castle's up there. Jeremy Clement still in the top 10. Brett Moffitt in the top 5, regardless of what happens from here. Moffitt's going to have a great starting position tomorrow.
There's the fastest cat in town.
Riley Herbst, one of those drivers eligible for the Dash for Cash. The first of 6 drivers left to go in qualifying.
Herbst tracking some half second off the fastest time so far, so he'll need a big lap number 2. Didn't sound like he came to the green quite like you'd hoped to. Engine was sort of lugging off turn 4. You can see he's tracking much better now.
Flirting with a spot in the top 10.
Missed turn 3 there a little bit. Got in too high. Wasn't quite able to cut it to the bottom, but still hung on.
8th. Now keep this in mind.
Did you hear that?
Yeah.
That was Justin guessing that the pole was going to be a 79. Guess what, Adam? He ran an 82. He thinks somebody's going to clip him.
And here is our next driver from Colleague, and that would be Daniel Hemrick. A pair of 3rd place finishes for him here last year, and Colleague has been great in qualifying. 3 poles this season for the organization.
Hemrick outside the top 10 on lap 1, 2015. He can certainly get there from there, though. It's a colorful car, isn't it?
Our reigning champ, who nearly won this race in October, back to the line at 8th.
Now we wait. If you're Justin Allgaier or one of his fans or teammates, you just got to see how you can hang on.
Josh Berry started 29th when he got his first career victory here last season.
And the knowledge that he has from that victory is just going to play dividends tomorrow night, knowing when to attack, when to press, how to make those passes.
First lap puts him inside the top 15. He's 11th.
He's going to pick it up a little bit.
Good enough to put him 9th, but not good enough to run down his teammate. A couple of veterans talking there. Ryan Sieg, Justin Allgaier, 3 to go. And here comes Sam Mayer. The next 3 guys we see all will be racing for the $100,000 tomorrow night. Qualifying huge for them.
You could see a little bit of tire smoke for Sam as he got into turn 1, but man, I like the way he got off turn 4. Or got in the gas hard, just wouldn't stick, Adam. I thought if that sticks, it's going to be special. That's a classic overdrove it, as we heard Dale Jr. talking earlier. Just tried to get the gas down, but it wouldn't hold. Did the same thing on lap 1.
19th on lap 1. And lap 2, not going to be any faster, so he stays in the 19th position. 2 to go. Nervous energy there, right?
Talking about what happened during their laps. Watching anything they can watch for lap times or video. of what might be happening on the track.
A.J. Allmendinger, no stranger to qualifying drama this year. Seems like he goes late each and every week, and every time puts himself in position to start up front. Lap number 112.
He needs 3/10 to eclipse Justin Allgaier, and it doesn't look like right now it's going to happen.
Allmendinger stays in the 12th position. Last car in qualifying, Ty Gibbs, who's won the last 2 poles at Circuit of the Americas, the road course in Austin, Texas, and last Saturday in Richmond, Virginia.
Good start. That's really key there, Adam, to be able to come to the white flag with the momentum you saw him have there as he was gaining on Allgaier as he came toward the white.
He's got 3 wins this year. Can he make it 3 poles in a row? Ty Gibbs off of turn 4, and he will lead him to the green tomorrow night. He said a 79. It was actually a 72.
Another 10.
Wow.
Pretty talented.
Adam, the pressure to go out there and perform and put the gas down, have that car stick. What a great job by Justin Allgaier with his lap, but then Ty Gibbs being able to best that.
He's the 9th driver now to win 3 consecutive poles, talking about Ty Gibbs. First time it's happened since 2016. It's his 4th career pole and only his 2nd on an oval. The first 2 poles in his career came on road courses. So the front row looks like this. Ty Gibbs, one of our Dash for Cash drivers, looking for his 4th win of the year tomorrow, starting alongside the old veteran Justin Allgaier.
That's what the Xfinity Series is all about, isn't it? The kids come in and try to root their way to the front, take the veterans out. But I'm telling you, Allgaier won't go down easy. He's going to be tough tonight, as will his teammate Josh Berry. Look for him to come strong from the back. And O'Dell Jr., he's got a lot of cars to pass. He's going to start back in the 30th position.
And you talk about opposite ends of the spectrum. Ty Gibbs, you feel like all he does lately is win. Allgaier has a 31 race winless streak. Hard to imagine for a driver that's been so successful and so consistent.
Yeah, but you can see the confidence. He feels good about what they've been able to do here in Martinsville. Looking forward to going racing tomorrow night. And I'm looking forward to watching. Started off tonight with the truckers, and have a great time tomorrow night with these guys.
For Joe Gibbs Racing, it's career pole number 175. 29 different drivers have delivered a P1 starting position for the coach. Allgaier 2nd. Gregson ends up 3rd. Truex and Creed, the top 5. Regan Smith.
Adam, 3rd pole in a row for Ty Gibbs. Ty, you are starting to make this qualifying thing look easy. I know it's not that easy. Man, you're good at this, though.
Thank you. Yeah, we have a pretty, very fast Monster Energy Toyota GR Supra. First of all, I want to say, all glory to God and my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for him. And I've got a great group of guys, so this is awesome. And to be able to, have the pole here is super cool. Martinsville, kind of another home track to me. So it's been fun. Thanks for interviewing me, Regan.
Good job, Ty. Thanks.
Ty Gibbs on the pole, race number 8 tomorrow night. Our coverage begins 6:30 Eastern time with race day from right here in Martinsville, Virginia. Tonight, it's all about the Camping World Truck Series, and the tailgaters settled up and ready to go. Michael Waltrip in the booth tonight with Vince and Phil Parsons. Have a great call tonight.
I can't wait to watch our truckers go at it. Short track racing here at Martinsville.
And we get you set up for the trucks tonight. It all starts right now. Race day from our studios in Charlotte, North Carolina.